to episode 12 of the TV Autopsy, slicing its way through the series you love. My name is James.
My name is Deborah.
And I am Megan.
And thanks to Zoom technology, we've now been able to hear our theme tune before it starts, haven't we?
Wow, this is new.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming our listeners actually don't experience anything different.
No.
Probably a bit of a lack of quality of sound, if anything. Never mind, we get to hear it. How are we all?
Good.
Good. Apologies for the tardiness of this recording.
I think the world is crazy. There's only 10 weeks of wheat left, which is handy because I think I've got a wheat intolerance, I found out. Every time I have bread, my nose runs.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not butter.
Oh, no, I hadn't thought about that. Well.
Oh, sorry, your face looks like I've absolutely ruined your life. Sorry about that.
Yeah, work this out. And what's going on in your world? How are things? All right?
Just busy.
Busy?
And June is the busiest. It's coming to be a very busy month.
Can I just say that I life is busy, but I have just booked my first holiday in 3 years.
Yeah, we did.
I'm
very excited.
I haven't received your holiday form for the TV Autopsy. When were you planning to have this holiday?
Well, it's in October, so we can work around our recording schedule.
Are you going to tell us where you're going?
I'm going to Mexico.
Oh!
Mexico!
I've been there 3 times.
Never been.
Oh, I have been before, but I have not done 5-star, like just,
Wow. Who are you going with?
luxuriate before. I'm going with a friend of mine. We've decided that since we haven't had a holiday for 5 years, we're going to spend an obscene amount of money on one.
Good for you. When is it? Hold on, I've got to think. No. We've got a 5-star.
Smooth operator.
Are you going anywhere, Deborah?
Aruba. Yes, go to Menorca.
Okay, where are you going there?
Can't hear you very well because the music's taking over your...
Yeah, it's one or the other, really. Well, I don't know if I'm going anywhere. Never mind.
Well, you're always going places.
Going nowhere fast.
Like, let us have a go.
All right. Well, talking about having a go, shall we have a go at a bit of news?
Yes, let's have a go at a bit of news. I
News?
found my file, by the way. I found my notes.
We've got a flight attendant coming on the 26th of May. We've got Only Murders in the Building coming 28th of June.
Yes. We've got a new Doctor Who.
I want to talk about that in a sec, but just, are we excited about Only Murders in the Building?
Well, I might watch it.
I'm going to watch it.
Well, I might as well watch it then as well.
I am going to watch it, but I'm kind of like because it was munchable.
Yeah.
It was.
And it had some really good house porn, so...
Yes.
Well, it's number 7 out of 10 on our list, so it's not that bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So all is changing in Doctor Who. Do you know what's going on? Have you been keeping abreast with the news?
We have a gay black man.
Or do we have David Tennant?
What?
So, yes, Ncuti Gatwa is going to be the next Doctor. However, the Doctor that is going to be regenerating from Jodie Whittaker is none other than Mr. David Tennant.
What?
I don't understand.
No, you wouldn't understand because you're not in the know like me. So it's the 60th anniversary when the regeneration happened the year after. So for the special, David Tennant and Catherine Tate are coming back. There's a rumour that Peter Capaldi is also coming back. And we're thinking probably that at the end of that special, Mr. Tennant will then regenerate once again into Ncuti Gatwa.
Right. So we've got at least a double regeneration, but possibly a triple regeneration.
I'll tell you what we have been having since in the past 2-3 weeks, since Russell T Davies has really taken the helm, is we've had sensational Doctor Who news. it's back. We haven't heard a thing for years, and now it's like, this is happening, and it's all going to be exciting. So, at least he's trying his best to revive the format. And I'd like to just say, I think Jodie Whittaker is great. She's just been let down by her scripts.
Yes.
It's a real shame that she's not going to be regenerating into another female Doctor, because it kind of singles her out really a little bit, and I just hope they don't look at it as they tried it and it didn't work.
Oh, we did it once, and
Because it took
forever telling my clients, just because
Thatcher.
you tried it once doesn't mean it's not going to work this time.
Margaret Thatcher 3 times.
Well, that's true.
Anyway, all right, some more news. Okay. Well, I've got some news about a special that we're going to do come like September time, which is a surprise for everyone.
Just before I go to Mexico.
When we go to Mexico, we are going to be doing our Yellow Jacket special for season 2, because it's freaking amazing.
Thank you. I'm taking all the credit for how awesome it is.
I love it.
It's so good.
It's so hard to get my niece into it. I made her watch the first episode, and I've got her to watch the second one. I think should have been hooked. But I think it's just great. And gosh, it was sad. Anyway, that's
it was excellent.
Do we know? So when is season 2 out then?
Well, I think it's come the autumn, so September, October time, something like that. So I think a little special beforehand, and then we'll obviously. I think we should do a little review of the episodes every time we do a show. So we'll do a little recap of where we are.
Okay,
wow.
Lovely.
So kind of live stream.
Are we not just consuming it in a binge? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Does it all drop at the same time?
I think it does. Oh, actually, I don't know. I'm talking rubbish. I've got no idea.
I don't know.
Sky and Now TV, and they tend not to do that really, but I don't know. Also, there's lots of season 2s. The Terror season 2, that's been around, hasn't it? Anyone watch that?
Ooh.
I saw something about it, but I got very confused, and then I just did, because it's got nothing to do with the first series, has it? It's completely unrelated.
Yeah,
I think so. Yes. Yeah. So there we go.
But I am looking forward to the Flight Attendant season 2. I have to say.
Okie dokie. I haven't seen Flight Attendant season 1 yet.
Well, have you not? Did we not review it?
No, not.
Oh, I just raved about it, and
we just talked about it. Yeah.
Also,
are you really?
I've got the list here. I know.
I'm convinced it was on my list.
No, we definitely haven't reviewed it. Definitely not. Also, Obi-Wan Kenobi. That hits on Friday.
Yep.
Media promotion thing. I'm really excited about it. So there you go. And you watch it or not so much?
I know Laurie will watch it.
God, will he? And what about you, Megan?
Will I be watching it? No, I will not.
And that was the end of that conversation.
All right, so let's move on to Cutting Edge.
We're about to enter the fascinating sphere of police work, the world of forensic medicine.
All right.
I can give you flatliners, but
You haven't got the Cutting Edge.
Oh yeah, I do.
I do. Go on then.
Well, it's a revisit actually. I've seen it before, but given that my son Roman is 12, and we took him to the Tower of London for his birthday, and locked him away. But the revisit of Wolf Hall, I've got him to start watching that with me, which is exceptionally good. It stars Mark Rylance as Thomas Cromwell, said in that French accent because Anne Boleyn, who's played by Claire Foy, says it a lot. Cromwell! And Damien Lewis as Henry VIII. And it's just fabulous. It's so good. So good.
Okie dokie. All right, Megan?
Well, my cutting edge is I have gone back to the very beginning of Taskmaster, and I've watched every season of Taskmaster, and it has kept me plodding for the last 2 or 3 months, and it just makes me laugh. And if a TV program can make you laugh when you're on your own with nobody else in the room, it's got to be doing something right.
This isn't the Greg Davies thing, is it? This is the
Greg Davies.
Oh, it is the Greg Davies thing.
Taskmaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen an episode of Taskmaster, and about 2 months ago, I also decided I was going to watch every episode, and I watched the first one.
And you hated it.
Melons and cutting up melons, and I got eating melons and watermelons, and I got really bored, and I stopped watching it.
I've seen a few episodes, but I just kind of turned it off.
Well, it's just it just kept me ticking along.
It's fun. It's fun.
I found it highly entertaining, and there are some series and some contestants that are much more entertaining than others, I have to say.
I hear that Rylan is fantastic in it.
Who?
Rylan. Rylan? Clark Neal?
I'm Rylan. I'm in it. I used to be in the X Factor, now I'm on this morning.
He's not in it.
Yeah, he is. He does an episode or two, and they are trying to have a chat around whether or not he would be a permanent member of staff because he had such a good episode. Yeah, I was listening to him and Alex Brooker talk about it on...
Always fighting for the underdog.
Really? On Taskmaster?
Yeah. Yes, on Taskmaster.
I've just watched every episode and he wasn't in it.
To be honest, Megan,
He's definitely in it.
It must have been on like a one-off special.
Maybe, but they were talking about his brilliant episode.
Well, we might have to do a bit of research.
Well, I'm going to have to go and research that now because I've watched every single series, every episode of every series, and that's 13 series, and he's not in them.
What? You've watched 13 series?
Yeah.
One episode with Rylan.
But there's so much good telly on.
Well, there is, but I think Taskmaster's good telly.
No, I know, but...
It's good TV because my Cutting Edge is brilliant. And you'll watched it, and you'll both agree with me as soon as I say these words: the thief, his wife, and the canoe.
Now, I've heard a lot of silly nonsense.
Joking.
Well, obviously,
watched it.
But the silly nonsense that I keep hearing back is just watch the real documentary that was on afterwards, because that is beyond.
So you've got the documentary, and then they also did a drama a while back as well.
They did. Yeah.
This is just so good. They nail the performances. It's just because obviously it's bonkers, but there's a lot of kind of sinisterness. They lied to their sons.
Yeah.
5 years. So and she's kind of carried along with it, and there's a certain member of mine. So my family watched it, my sister and my mum, and we all got the phone afterwards and went, "Does that guy remind you of someone?" Because he's always got these harebrained schemes, and he's like just pushing her into doing these things. And it's.
So is this your dad? It reminds you of your dad?
I'm going to say who he was, but but it's really very, very good. So I can't.
I probably need to go and watch that because I did when I saw it was on. I was like, because I remember the news and when it all came out.
I mean, it's not very often that a great story like that happens, but I don't know, how faithful they are to the people, but I felt myself sympathising an awful lot for his wife, and I mean, he was up to all sorts, like having affairs and stuff, and I mean, oh God, it was terrible.
But I mean, to try and pull off some kind of sham and fraud like he did, and then just hide almost in plain sight.
Well, yeah. Well, it was the pictures on the website, wasn't it, down in South America or something? Yes. Is that right, from memory?
Yeah, but even before then, it was like he didn't follow it through. There's a bit where he's been missing, and the insurance people come and say, well, there isn't a body, so you're going to have to wait 5 years for the money. And then, their debts are like way up there. And it's just, she's just at the end of her tether all the time. And, he's got this secret door. I think he's popping in from. Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. So check that out.
Okay, we'll check it.
Okay, let's go with some Flatliners. Okay, so these are TV series that we've watched that we're not thinking very much of, really. Anyone?
Am I allowed to nominate something that I only bothered watching 20 minutes of and decided that
Absolutely.
Raised by Wolves?
Hang on, which one? This is
the sci-fi one, not the comedy one.
Not the comedy one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's these two, like Borg type, cyborg type characters who get sent off with some embryos to start a new human race on another planet. And I stuck it out for 20 minutes is probably a bit generous. It may well have only been 15 minutes, and I was just like, this is awful. No.
Okay. Mine was, and I'm going to have to watch the flipping final episode, but mine's is Anatomy of a Scandal, starring Sienna Miller, based on a book, I think.
Yes.
But funnily enough, something has come out now in real life about an MP.
It's
being
about the
accused of
MP,
rape.
isn't it?
Yeah. But oh my God, it's just so badly scripted.
Is it? Oh, that's really
not very well acted. I mean, I love Sienna Miller; she's lovely to look at, but the whole lot of it is just they're trying to be a bit artsy and creative with it as well. It just jars. It's just a bit shit.
Did you name your daughter after her, Miller?
No, because Sienna's got one N, and as her godfather, you would know that.
I thought Sienna Miller had one N. I don't know. Right, my flatliner, unfortunately, is going to have to be Doctor Who Legend of the Sea Devils, which was a special that they did. It's just really frustrating because they have the Sea Devils, which were first around in 1973, I think. So a very classic villain, monsters from the depths. You can't go wrong. It was set in 18th century China, and it had a Chinese pirate or, something around those lines. All the elements were there. It was the most boring episode you could possibly imagine. It's like, where is the drama? Where is the excitement? It's just awful. So once again, she's been really shortchanged, that poor Jodie Whittaker.
Oh, poor
Oh dear.
Jodie.
So we better get on with this month's dissection, which is the television programme Kevin Can Be Himself.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm quite nervous about what you guys thought about this.
Well, you'll just have to wait and see.
I know.
Longer, won't you? And before we have some wonderful facts from the wonderful Deborah, let's have a wonderful clip.
It's about a woman who keeps playing perfect housewife.
Hey, where's our breakfast? You're not supposed to have favorites.
Kevin's my husband.
Hey, babe, can you go see if my package is here yet?
Can't you do it?
I'm in the middle of something.
Then one day, she realizes what she wants.
Whoa, Miss Hercules over here. Is that blood? It doesn't mean you get to be moody. You already used that excuse once this month.
You got a special occasion you want to look nice for?
I am seeing an ex.
What I missed the last 15 years.
She wasted the life on this terrible marriage. The money's gone. Kevin drained the account.
You ever think about maybe trying to have just a little bit of fun?
You can get in trouble for that.
You're having trouble, you dick!
There we go. Wow.
So this is an Amazon Prime series called Kevin Can F Himself. It was actually premiered back in June 2021. It's a comedy drama, or is it? is it a sitcom crime drama? It's the creator is Valerie Armstrong. Annie Murphy is the Emmy Award-winning actress that was in Schitt's Creek and Russian Doll, who plays the main kind of protagonista, Alison McRoberts. Eric Peterson plays Kevin, who is what this show is about, but it's not really about him, or is it? He's from The Big Bang Theory, Modern Family, voiced in Madagascar. You've got Mary Hollis in Bowden, who plays...
Sorry, you said he's from The Big Bang Theory?
He featured in The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, he can only have popped up on a tiny little episode.
Tiny episode as a minor character, probably. Mary Hollis in Bowden is in Marriage Story, The Real O'Neills. She plays Patty, the neighbour. And then Brian Howe, who plays Peter, the dad. He's in Chicago Fire, Westworld, Pursuit of Happiness. And then a few other actors that, again, not many things that they've been in, but do a perfectly reasonable job.
All right. So, Megan.
Yes. What's it all about? Well, so I read a few reviews and I was getting really annoyed by them because they kind of summarise the plot, but I think they really trivialise it. So one of them was saying alternating between multi-camera sitcom and single-camera drama. Kevin Kneff himself's first outing was praised for breaking television convention, its searing social commentary and Murphy's fierce performance. In essence, actually what it's about is a woman who lives a very suppressed life. She's overshadowed and invisible and deeply, deeply disrespected by her husband. And on discovering that he has spent their entire life savings, the ones she has been dreaming will allow them to buy a house and move out of their current rut and everything, she basically has a complete... not even a complete breakdown, but she has a transformative moment and plots her revenge. And it's essentially, I think the thing to be aware of is that it's filmed in two completely different styles. And whenever the husband is on screen, it's got this very like 1970s to 1990s
almost, yeah. It's almost
style sitcom, canned laughter, bright lighting. And then when he's not on screen, it's a really quite dark, gritty, dark comedy feel about it, that drama comedy. And I just think that the way that those two stylings are played off against each other is, I just bloody loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you know, because I raved about it before.
A couple of lines about what I thought about that, and then Deborah, I want you to pile in with what you thought. But yeah, I disagree. It's not the description that you said. I found the whole thing actually really unsettling.
Yeah.
I was on edge a lot because everything he said was kind of sinister. You've got it in that clip really with his little joke there. But obviously in our world, the comedy is supposed to be funny, but I was just waiting all the time for something awful to happen, and I think it just seemed to me like she was just having a breakdown, and this was how she was seeing her world as it broke down, really. But obviously, it went a bit further than that.
Yeah, I think what the creators, you kind of like look into it from a female perspective, if you like, and you've had years and years and years of sexism and misogyny and homophobia and racism that these sitcoms have been laughing at for years. And
I hope you're not including Bless His House in that list.
Yeah. And it's that kind of that put up, shut up, kind of accept mediocrity, self-policing what your public and private feelings are, or your public and private self are, and that stifling of the female rage when it's sort of bubbling up, and you've got to keep that in, and it's and the whole kind of narrative of what's being sold to us as kids, this kind of this love marriage, then you have kids, and the penultimate episode about when she goes to the gynae and she says you can't have kids and all this sort of stuff. So you've got this finger pointing at what we've all been laughing at for many years, and then you've obviously got the deliberate jarring of the comedy, because there's still a bit of comedy in the dark, but it's a dark comedy. But in a way, they are kind of two parodies, because it does turn into like a Breaking Bad crime drama where she's sort of Walter Whiting the sort of the plot of murdering Kevin. There is definitely it's definitely I know you're trying to say something, James. Sorry, showing this kind of if this is still entertainment of men lamenting their marriages though they're barely participating in them. This is a toxic, abusive relationship, and you're just watching her efforts trying to break free of that. There's a lot of layers going on.
It's a huge number of layers, and that whole I think the biggest part, what I've been desperate to chat about to people, is that layering about what historically has been seen as fair game to be the butt of jokes, and the behaviour that is deemed to be historically has been deemed, and to some extent probably in some places still is, acceptable, and the misogyny and that all that toxic masculinity and everything, and how that is wrapped up with canned laughter, and the way that a lot of sexist jokes, when women react to it and they go, "Oh, I was joking," and it's hiding a lot of that. Really, all that toxicity in a "I was laughing," and you see the split between the styles when he's not on screen, and it's the much deeper, darker. You could kind of like see how it is absolutely a representation of, and the social commentary that it was talked about in the reviews. It absolutely is that, and it's trying to break that down and shine a different light on it. And it really made me think about all those sitcoms that have come before that this is kind of modelled on. And I'm not saying that all the characters were quite as offensive as him, but he is a deeply appalling human being. But in his world and within his, he just gets lauded week after week as like some genius dude by his mates and the other men around him.
In the sitcom, everyone has a very clearly defined roles, don't they? And he is obviously, it's a show about Kevin. So, without the other side, everyone looks perfectly happy. So I think our protagonist, what's her name? What's the actress's name?
Alison, Anne Murphy. Annie Murphy. She's called Alison in the character.
Right, but I think she gives an amazing performance because she manages to bring enough of the other world into the show. So you can see she's not happy, but suddenly she's going along with it. But she's the same kind of when she drags back to the other side a little bit. And I think you see that more as as the episodes progress, because I think the dark, the really drab thing, as more is happening in her life, it seems to be lightening up. And I'd be interested to know if it actually turns into something that's much brighter than maybe the sitcom that maybe starts to deteriorate, because it certainly is brighter at the end, by the end episode.
What do you mean by brighter? Her outlook is brighter.
Her outlook, but also the way they shoot the grim reality sections. They're not as dark. There is more light as she does things. It seemed like there was more hope. Now that might go backwards because of what happened at the end. The way she performed that, because you could see her struggling, but going along with the fun.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this isn't really about Kevin, it's about Alison, and in turn, it's kind of recognising individual women as fully realised people, because obviously, you know, these sitcoms are generally about the unattractive, big male, heavy slob and the downtrodden, very beautiful wife. That's kind of like Kevin Can't Wait and all of those other shows. But it shows that she's capable of carrying her own story and telling it. And actually, I felt as it went along, I mean, I didn't really properly get into it until about episode 4, when it started to take that turn into the sort of going down the more crime route. And I felt as it went along, the sitcom scenes felt a bit of an intrusion.
Yeah.
Or I felt like there was less time needed, at least in Kevin's world, as we kind of got the point. Either that, or at least teaches something new in them. And then with Alison's kind of darker scenes, it's kind of, all right, can we just get on with the murder already, or at least move away from that plot altogether?
But on I don't disagree with you on the comedy, the sitcom scenes kind of started intruding a little bit, but I think that had to continue, because I think it also represents that it is just relentless, and Kevin himself feels that it is his show. He is the lead in with
the spotlight back to me. Yeah,
all of the people.
It's a deliberate thing. Yeah,
and it was annoying. Well, it wasn't annoying, but it was noticeable, and you really do want to move on and see her story, but it's just this relentless drawing it back into the Kevin show, and
like the constant running in and out of the restaurant and then into next door.
But it was interesting because you've seen those in all the sitcoms historically.
Yes,
but I think I agree. I was getting really bored of the sitcom elements, but I think you needed that much for that last episode. There were two big things. Are we going to talk spoilers? I suppose we are already.
Yeah.
There's a bit where in the sitcom, she confronts Kevin when he's going for mayor or whatever he's going for.
Yeah.
And she says, whatever she says, something like, you go F yourself or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it turns back into the joke. You know, he pulls it back because he's too strong. But then you've got that bit where they smash his best mate over the head, is it, or something?
Yeah.
And it's like suddenly that world shattered. So what's going to happen?
It's her brother. It's Patty's brother.
It's Patty's brother. Yeah.
But he's been dragged out of that world now. So it's going to have a big effect, I think, on season 2.
Yeah. And the season 2 thing is, I mean, it's full of what ifs, right? So it's, you know, what if she had murdered him? Then maybe season 2 would be about her and Patty on the run, and that'd be quite fun to watch, right? But it remains to be seen. What are we going to learn from season 2 that's beyond the kind of this explicit primary message that we've received?
Well,
showing the two lives of a woman, essentially, the public self and the private self.
Yeah. So they've announced it will only have 2 seasons. Season 2 will close it. Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to see a very different
August 2022.
So excited.
Because he's going to have lost his best mate somehow or other, or something. It's going to break down. Can we talk a little bit about Patty? What do we think?
I thought she was great. I thought she was great.
I loved her.
Really great.
So she starts off as like very much part of the sitcom.
Yeah.
She's part of Kevin's crowd. She's never really thought much of Alison. Alison's just been wallpaper in the Kevin show.
Yeah, she's one of the lads, isn't she?
Yeah, and she is instrumental in bursting Alison's bubble by telling her that Kevin has spent their entire life savings and there is no deposit for a house. And that is like, she doesn't even do it out of spite, but that is the turning point of their relationship. Bearing in mind they've been in each other's lives for years and years and years. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think they even went to school together. And suddenly she starts to see Alison in a different light as well. And just everything about her, the way she sits there eating salad with her boyfriend, telling him that she's
her accent, her delivery,
she's
the way that she smokes.
Yeah. The character's brilliant. The actor's brilliant, everything. She's an awesome, awesome character.
Yeah, really good. And again, look, both of those actresses, they click in and click out of that sitcom situation so well. They really know how to act both.
No one else really stood out for me, really. I suppose they do. Kevin does a good job as the role he is.
Yeah, I just found him repulsive.
So awful.
Just,
He reminds him in the
intolerable.
Point.
Sorry, say that again, James.
You ever see him in the darker kind of world? I've got a feeling we might when he's work. I think they're going to destroy his sitcom over the next series. It's like all his, his things are going to break down.
So I would be very happy to see that, but he strikes me as the sort of character that he is.
He's a narcissist. He'll be in that little world forever.
He has no self-awareness. He has no.
He has, but
he's a sociopath / psychopath in some senses, but he is a narcissist. But he's got no self-awareness, and he doesn't care about. He has no consideration for anyone else.
Bear in mind, Patty is now not in the sitcom. By all, his best mate looks like he's going to be ripped out of the sitcom. It looks like they're deconstructing it around him, and it'll be interesting to see it when they're kind of if he's there and suddenly the kind of laughter stops.
But I don't. So in the main, I think it was just him he's the one who projects the sitcom lighting. He's.
We'll just have to wait and see, won't we?
We will. I mean, I'll be very interested. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
It's an interesting concept. I think the only thing that's come really close to it is the WandaVision, right? And but apart from that, it's an interesting concept. It's different.
It is, but they'll have to do something very different with season 2 because I was getting really tired of the sitcom by now.
I didn't love this sitcom. I didn't love it. I was interested, but I didn't love it.
Did you love? What do you mean? The actual program?
Just the program overall. I mean, I thought it was interesting, and what they've tried to do with it is interesting, but I just didn't love it.
I think it had 1 or 2 episodes too many, and I think that the last episode of the series was really good, and it turned things on its head, and you don't know where it's going to go from here. I think it was the episode. Was it the one where they were locked in the base? Oh, they were doing the bloody
the escape room.
Really annoyed me because that seemed to really take over the whole episode.
Yeah, and it's just overlong.
The other one, there was no kind of link. All right, listen, have we said everything we need to do? Should we get on to the big 5?
Sure.
All right, so performance of the series. Who do you want to nominate?
Oh, it's got to be between Alison and Patty. They're both so good.
Well, I'm going to go for Patty, personally.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Alison.
Oh,
I just think she's so, and she's from what's the name of the actress again?
Annie Murphy.
Annie Murphy. I was going to say it's not Amy Murphy. She's just really come into it in this program, and having done the Schitt's Creek, which you can show that she can do the comedy stuff. She's just brought absolute packets and packets of everything in this one. I thought
her performance transitioning is very good.
Yeah,
really.
But I think Patty just about beats her to it. Just as a character, she's great. She's great.
All right. Set piece of the series.
This is a difficult one. I had to think about this one, but maybe the bath scene. So after the episode, is it called Broken something or others, or Broken, or that episode, the penultimate episode? She's gone to the gynecologist, and they say she can't have any kids. She goes home. She goes and grabs a bottle of wine, sits fully clothed in the bath, and Patty comes up. And that's when they have that bigger, deeper turning point, I think. They open up to one another, sharing the deepest, darkest fears. And I think it was really great to watch them. And that was just one of those nice little female moments.
Yeah, that was a great scene. But did she get told she couldn't have kids? Because she was only going to the gynecologist to look like she wanted kids, so that when she...
And then told she couldn't.
I missed that, and I've watched it twice.
What about you?
Is that unlikely to be able to have? Is what they said to her, and it was that line, I wrote it down here, where Patty says to her, "If this is you broken, stay broken," which I thought was really good, because it's all about, how women go above and beyond and make others comfortable, being polite, being courteous and accommodating, no matter what, even if it chips at your inner self and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that was great.
Okay, Megan, what was your set piece?
Well, I had a set piece and I've lost my notes. So I'm going to go. I completely agree. I think that bath scene was amazing.
Okay. All right. It's when they attacked the Beth the brother at the end.
Right at the very end.
That
yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
My God. All right. So, design or effect of the series? Well, for me, it's obviously sitcom to reality.
Yeah. I mean, it was very effective how when Kevin leaves the room, then it becomes the real house, and you can see everything, and it's exactly the same place, but in a different shade, a different light.
Such a difference. The lighting.
Different, doesn't it? From it's brilliant.
Very good.
Okay, the stupid factor.
Okay, my stupid factor is this: the beauty counter woman, when she goes and gets her lipstick, and they're all looking down their noses at her. Have they never seen Pretty Woman? You just
I mean, what shops ever really treat you quite like that? I mean, that's just horrendous.
Yes.
The stupid factor for me is that she goes from realization to I'm going to kill him. Like there doesn't seem to be any medium step, and I have to say I've watched that through twice. I've watched the whole series through twice, and I guess it's a bit the stupid factor, but it also then points to me that's kind of like, well, she's obviously gone through years and years and years of this awful abuse, so maybe that is not a stupid factor as it feels when you first watch it. So
yeah, I mean, mine is a bit funny as well, because I put that they could keep the sitcom going for as long as they do. But now you said it's only going to run for 2 seasons. I think we're really going to see it all.
The deconstruction,
yeah.
And I put for the last one, the resuscitation factor.
Yes.
Where do you think it's going to go? Where should it go? Will you continue to watch? And I put the destruction of the sitcom. I think that's what we're going to see in season 2. That's what my money's on. What do you think?
It could be an amalgamation of the two, where her dark world suddenly becomes just a little bit lighter, and the sitcom world starts to.
But like Pleasantville or whatever it is, where
or like the Dark Crystal, where the Skeksis, the Dark Crystal, when they all become a merged being. Anyway,
I unless he does die, which I kind of feel that's not where it's going to land. But there will be an absolute, Alison will find some absolute salvation somewhere.
Will it be Sam? I don't think they'll make him be the knight in shining armour, because I think then that would be defeating the point of what they're trying to make, in terms of the point is be a woman.
I think
in
it's
your own
her.
Right,
because the things that came out through the episodes, where you find out that he's not just it is constant and perpetual undermining of her, and her having to leave her legal exec job, and all of these things that she then has
her auntie's store.
And he's just been instrumental in grinding her down, that the way she gets her redemption is actually doesn't matter what happens to Kevin, as long as she gets he can F himself.
We might get together the best mates, Patty and Alison.
Say that again?
No. All right. Okay.
Say that again? Who gets together?
Patty and Alison. Do they not have a little frizz on?
No, well, she's with the police officer, isn't she? She's quite liking that.
Right, is she still with her? I thought she...
Well, I think she's still on the scene.
Right, okie dokie. All right, well, let's move on to that old trope. So we're going to see if it's got any tropes of our shows. So, first off, is there a pregnancy?
Well, there's talk of a pregnancy,
Okie
dokie. Oh, hold on a minute. There we go. That might not work, so we might leave that. Murder. Is there a murder?
Well, yes, there's talk of.
Well, is there a murder? There isn't.
Not quite. Attempted.
Attempted. Well, so it gets. Well, it gets.
Or the shooting of the burglar, the hitman.
Yeah.
All right. Should we say yes to the murder then? It's
attempted murder.
About thinking about right.
Yeah.
Is there self-sacrifice?
Yes. Whole life.
Do they lose everything then get it back again?
Well, they lose something. Don't they lose the pills?
Well, she's lost everything. She's lost her sense of self and everything, and she's striving to get it back.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we're halfway through, aren't we? Because
we're halfway through the trope.
A question mark. Is there a love triangle?
Yes, with Sam.
There is. Did he go into the sitcom? You know when he visited the house? He did, didn't he? Because he met Kevin.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah,
because he meets him back at the. That's how he ends up at the business with the mayoral.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stupid thing.
Flashbacks. Are there flashbacks?
Are there flashbacks?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah. Oh.
There have to be a number of flashbacks, I think, for us to.
They're not obvious ones that I can recall.
Does it have a Deus Ex Machina? A reset? And like an easy MacGuffin reset? No.
No, and we did say we'd find another one that we could actually all say.
Oh, well, did anyone find one? I will send these out. We can review them at the end of the episode. Right, is it all just a dream?
What about the gender diversity blind thing?
Hey?
The gender race blind. Is it gender race blind? Isn't that one?
Yeah. We're not at the bottom yet, though. I think you'll find that's the last one.
Oh, okay. So what was that last one that you just said?
Was it all just a dream?
Was it all just a dream?
No, but she does have her daydreams when she's talking to the waitress and decides that she's going to kill Kevin.
But again, it's not like...
But it's not all a dream, no. It's an awful, awful reality.
And now, is there a secret that could tear everyone apart? Yes.
Yes.
Skill, I guess.
There's quite a few. There's the money that Kevin has spent. There's the soccer top, the football top that she steals. There's the drugs.
He does. It's all about hiding stuff from his wife. Oh. Yeah. But is there an unlikely or forced friendship?
Yeah. Yes.
And is it gender or race blind? I just wrote that down.
No.
All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just tipping the balance, but it's about half and half, so it's not full of tropes. All right, and the last thing I'm going to ask you to do...
It's not a pile of trope.
Before we score it, can you sum it up in a sentence? I've put great concept, but is it enough to hold the second series?
I think it's an absolutely cutting or damning representation of toxic masculinity.
Okie dokie.
I won't bother with a line.
Oh.
All right then, Deborah.
Well, you've kind of both said it, you know.
All right then. I just thought you might be able to sum up everything in a sentence, but...
One thing I did read is that whichever channel it is that created it's getting a bit of a cult following. It's the biggest viewing figures of the 25 to 40 female audience. So it's clearly resonating.
Yeah, something very relatable for the old ladies there. I mean, old ladies, young ladies, just the old muckers.
All right, so
the old Dorothys.
All right, so we're going to score these out of 10, please. Megan, we'll start with you. Storyline and plot.
9.
Deborah.
Well, I didn't think the plot and the storyline was high, so I'd give it 5.
I've given it a 6. Characterization of performances. Deborah.
8.
I've given it an 8. Megan?
I gave it an 8.
Lovely. Style, I've given it a 9. Megan?
10.
9.
Lovely.
Good scorer there.
Originality, Megan?
10.
9.
And
What did you say?
We didn't hear you there, James.
10. Can you hear me?
10.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absorption factor. Deborah?
6.
I've given it a 5 because I really started to wane with the sitcom.
I gave it a 9. I've watched it twice.
7. Right, let's add these up, shall we?
Yep.
2.
When we've done it, we have to multiply it by 2.
So we have our numbers ready if you want them, James.
Well, I just have to work mine out, sorry.
You mean you don't do it in advance?
I do, but I changed my scores. Slight.
Oh, were you swayed by us, depending on what we say?
Yeah, you put me off it. No, not at all. I went up a little bit. Right, so Megan, what did you give it?
I gave it a 92.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Deborah?
74 from me.
That was my original score. And I have given it a 76, which means
Year of our birth.
it gets a rating it gets a TV Autopsy BPM of 80.66666666666.
Recurring. Okay, so that puts us where on the leaderboard?
A very respectable place. It puts it in 3rd place.
Wow.
Below Firefly and just above Mayor of Easttown.
Oh no, it's not. Is it not better than Mare of Easttown?
No.
It is. It's 3.6 better, actually.
Did you say it's not better than Mayor of Easttown, Deborah?
6 points better. It says it here on our BPM.
No, I know, but I think
No, I'm
Deborah's
saying-
challenging
yes,
it, whereas I'm
challenging
not.
it. Yes.
Science.
Yes, they're very close to Firefly. Very close indeed.
Very close.
It's my go, isn't it?
It is your
It's
go.
your go.
Okay, right. So we're going to move back to the more traditional sitcom. And this is a real surprise because I wasn't going to choose this at all. And I was watching Inside Number 9 and I fell asleep. And I woke up and I wasn't sure if it was the same episode or not. And I couldn't work out what was going on for ages. So I just kept watching this show. And it really drew me in. And I'd never seen it. It's 2 seasons. It's a sitcom of 6 half-hour episodes each. And it is called The Other One. It's on the BBC.
Oh, yeah.
And have you seen it?
Yeah.
You've watched it. Deborah, have you seen it?
No.
All right. And basically, it's about a very middle-class family whose father dies of a heart attack. And they find out that for 30 years he's been having an affair and has a whole other family, basically. But it's wonderful because he's got a daughter in the middle-class family called Catherine, and they find out that they've got a daughter of the same age in the other family, also called Catherine. And it's very heartwarming, but it's brilliant. I think it's very funny. Very funny. So there we go.
6 half-hour episodes on the BBC.
No, 12, because there's 2
series.
However, I think if you watch the first season, you'll just keep flying to the second one because it is
okay.
Good.
And I think there's another series coming, isn't it?
Yeah, there is.
Is that I haven't seen season 2, I don't think. Is that a recent season 2 or is there a season 3 coming?
I don't know because I just watched it all at once.
Right, because I think okay, well we'll watch it and discuss my point.
All right, so I suppose that's it, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now,
lovely to speak to you.
Sooner rather than later.
Let's try and do this sooner. Yes.
Yeah.
Watching the other one.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think we have.
Goodbye from
what do they say what do they say when the body's dead?
Let's wrap it up. Put it in the bin.
What does who say when the body's dead?
Stuff when they try to revive something.
Call it.
Call it. Let's call it. Yeah, that's our new catchphrase.
I'm a death.
I'm a death. 7:58. Oh my. See you next time.
See you.
Bye.